Wanted to skip down a little bit to Bijan Robinson. You have the running back from Texas being drafted by the Bills with the 27th pick of the first round. Now, we actually had I would say, an animated Slack conversation a while back, 2-3 weeks ago, about whether the Buffalo Bills are an analytics forward franchise. And the determination seemed to be no, they're not. And Josh Allen helps them look like that, but they have been desperately seeking running backs for various roles for 2 or 3 years now. So, Kyle, you have Bijan Robinson going in the first round to the Bills. Does that fall in line with their pursuit of a running back?
Yeah, I think in league circles, we know pretty sure, like ESPN runs like a survey conducted by actual like analytics staffers in the league. They're widely considered one of the more analytics heavy organizations. I think to some extent that's true. And I think when we talk about them spending like consistent, I think in 4 or 3 of the past 4 years, they spent a day 2 pick on a running back, not something like us Twitter spreadsheet analytics nerds would say is very analytics focused, but the bar is low for these teams coming out of still very boomer era football and thinking, getting some analytics staffers in their organizations over the past decade. The bar is low to be a quote analytics organization. So I don't want to say this like rules them out of being in the smart kids club. Teams that are smart make what we think are suboptimal minus EV decisions all the time. And Bijan is a different beast. It is very difficult to wrap your head around the positional value that we place on running backs. And we have a lot of good data to show that it's one of the more devalued positions in the modern NFL. It's one of the best prospects. He's like a top 5 prospect of the past decade, right up there with like Saquon, Zeke type of players.
He's better. He's a better prospect than Zeke for sure. Zeke, we gave a big fantasy bump because he landed in a perfect situation with the Cowboys, but as a pure prospect.
So
his receiving is so good too. He grades pretty well in yards per route run, and super interestingly, had like a 7 ADOT last year in college football. Like he gets down the field. Like obviously, running backs can only do so much, and that'll probably it will for sure come back as he enters the NFL. But he has like a special receiving talent that I think is maybe not quite on that Christian McCaffrey level. I think he could probably comp to Saquon Barkley though.
I think he could too.
Judging by the evaluation of Bijan as such a great prospect, I saw someone I respect on draft Twitter say that he's like Jamal Charles but better, which Jamal Charles is one of the most efficient efficient running backs in the history of the league. How is he going to drop to the 27th pick of the first round? I feel
that's a weird that's a weird comp for me. I don't think he has that kind of top end speed at all, and he's also kind of a bigger dude. You should think about he's basically looks to me a lot like Saquon Barkley, and I think a team would be bringing him in to kind of carry the load. But I agree. I think someone will probably step up, and draft him before this. One of the things that you can count on in the NFL is that whoever we're currently holding up is our analytics savior and analytics hero.
I know what you're going to say.
Will destroy us.
Yes.
And so let's add another one to the list. Let's have Kwesi Adofo-Mensah come in here, replace Dalvin Cook, replace Alexander Mattison.
Okay.
Get a playmaker on a team that needs playmakers. We already saw them trade for TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
We know they're interested in giving up draft capital to try to add playmakers to this team. They're trying to justify this Kirk Cousins restructure they did last offseason.
Right.
They bring in Bijan, and then look, you're ready made for when you get another quarterback in 2024. If you got Justin Jefferson, you got Bijan Robinson, you got to come to Minnesota. What a great offense we have for you. They're going to do it. And we're going to be tortured by this. Is he really an analytics guy?
Absolutely. No, you never,
I was going to go even
higher.
Higher and say the Eagles at 10. The Eagles at 10, another organization that widely considered like one of the most analytics forward. Look, they really are a team where like, you should not spend luxury picks. As you think you have luxuries, then injuries happen, then players like, cornerbacks, their production is so fluky from year to year. You'd love to just have a stable of them. So if one's having a down year, you can put someone else in there. You think you have a luxury pick like you're the Chiefs. You actually don't. And then it turns out you have Patrick Mahomes and you're great anyways. Not the point. You think you have a luxury pick and you don't, right? You find out that you had needs to fill. But this does look like a roster that can afford a luxury pick. They have so much talent in every single position, an incredible offensive line. They'll lose some defensive linemen in free agency. They still have some players under contract for multiple years. Good cornerback situation. Bradbury, I think, is a free agent, though. Great receivers, great quarterback on a cheap deal right now. So they could tell themselves they could afford it. I don't think any teams can actually afford a luxury pick in the reality of what happens 5 months from now when players are injured in training camp or whatever, right? But they could tell themselves that, and they have an incredible run game. You would say that he would be so much better in their run game than every other team, and it would be incredible for a fan to watch this. He would be great. He's going to be great anywhere, but he'd be really great behind this Eagles offensive line. That's about the peak of where I really did consider mocking them at 10. I couldn't bring myself to do it because I do think they're one of the more positional value focused teams in the NFL, but they could totally do it. I could understand why they would do it. I wouldn't agree with it, but I'd understand it. I've even seen him mocked like as high as what I think the Falcons pick like 8th or something like that, like as high as there. I think 10 is probably the ceiling ish. Yeah. And I'd get it. I thought about the Ravens too. Like J.K. Dobbins clearly wasn't back to full strength last year. Will he ever be? They're not a ton invested in him as well. And he's probably coming. It probably has 1 year left on his contract. Even the Cowboys, though, then we kind of got some rumblings of Tony Pollard franchise tag, Zeke pay cut. That kind of nixes that situation. Number 10 is where I think is a ceiling. It'd be Kerrane, would he be 101 if he goes to the Eagles?
I don't think he'd be 101, but I think in a good situation, you're going to see him go top 5 because I don't think you're going to get a lot of pushback from guys like me who, normally are going to be a little bit more cautious about drafting running backs really high. He's just such a strong prospect. Although, to be honest, the Eagles is not where I would like him to go. I'd rather have him be on the Vikings. I think on the Vikings, you're looking at total control. There's no one else. The percentage of the backfield's completely empty. All the projection systems and projectors would have him getting 75% of the snaps and just completely dominating touches. And I think they might throw. Certainly probably throw more often, but they might throw more to the running back specifically as well.
Red zone work would be a little concerning. A good bit concerning with the Eagles and the Bills as well, because they both have such monsters in the red zone at quarterback.
Right. Exactly. So I actually don't view the Eagles as that great of a landing. My thing with running backs actually is that I think in some ways you're better off. You want an elite offensive line and a mediocre offense. I think that's the real sweet spot for now that the Vikings don't have an elite offensive line, but I think if you're a guy like Bijan, a lot of the value for him is going to come from being just the total backfield. He can do everything. He can get used. It's Saquon. It's the same bet as Saquon. His similar bet to Christian McCaffrey, where if he's on a mediocre offense, but he's getting all the work and he's got a non-mobile quarterback, a quarterback who's dumping down a lot, beautiful. That's beautiful.
Right. That's exactly it. So I feel like I'm kind of out on drafting running backs who have a very mobile quarterback in their backfield. I think, Jalen Hurts takes so much of the green zone inside the 10 action that Bijan would absolutely see in a Vikings offense with, statuesque Kirk Cousins at quarterback. So I think that he would be more appealing fantasy wise. I mean, not that if he went to Philadelphia, he wouldn't be. But if either team drafts, either the Vikings or the Eagles draft Bijan that high, I would say it's a reminder that you never want to meet your analytics kings.
That's right. That's right.
They will let you down.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, okay? Respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.